Communication Arts Center in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. This is UWSP News Team.
Good morning, Stevens Point. I'm Milica Mitrovic.
And I'm Rachel Ellis with the UWSP News Team.
On today's show, we will discuss the UWSP women's basketball team, our student and local veterans, and changes at UWSP Counseling Center.
But first, we will discuss one of the most unique elections in our country's history. Reactions varied, with some celebrating and others turning to protest in the streets. Chris Candler and Morgan Road have more.
On one side, elation and joy. On the other, shock and sadness. The results of the 2016 election are about as polarizing as it gets.
I will be president for all Americans, and this is so important to me.
Many of Trump's most outspoken critics offered their congratulations, including Speaker Paul Ryan.
This is the most incredible political feat I have seen in my lifetime.
Even Trump's opponent, Secretary Clinton, stayed positive in defeat.
Donald Trump is going to be our president. We owe him an open mind and the chance to lead.
All this is in spite of nationwide protests in reaction to Trump's election. For further insight, we spoke to some members of the UWSP community.
It was a very surprising outcome, I think, probably for everybody. I think there's multiple reasons for this outcome. I think one of it does have to do, though, with kind of a sense of that the American dream for the middle and the working class is no longer there. That people's wages have been stagnant. That the American dream is not really is not really very attainable for a lot of people.
I think here at UWSP, we had the most political kind of tensions as possible. I think it's necessary that we voice our opinion. I think it's important that we, that as American people, I mean, you have a right to even voice your concerns. People feel very strongly, and they will voice those opinions. And it's still happening today, but we just gotta adjust course and educate ourselves.
And I didn't do anything. I skipped class and I just laid in bed and slept because it was like, are my rights going to be taken away? Like, are my friends who've had abortions, are they going to have to retroactively like pay for their crimes? It was just really emotional for everyone. I know I wouldn't have acted like this or freaked out like that had it been Mitt Romney who won, John McCain, because worst comes to worst, like legalization of gay marriage would have had to wait another 5 years.
No matter what happens, the next 4 years are sure to be interesting. For UWSP News Team, this is Chris Candler and Morgan Rohde signing off.
President-elect Donald Trump will begin his first term in office on January 20th of 2017.
While the country continues to wrap their heads around the political future of the country, UWSP has a concern of their own. UWSP's news team Lexi Callan has more.
Enrollment is down. According to Chancellor Bernie Patterson, UWSP has experienced a steady decline in enrollment over the last several years. In part, this is due to a decrease in the population moving through the school system, as well as changes to the graduation requirements, accelerating the graduation rate.
This represents our enrollment trend over the last 4 or 5 years. In many ways, it's a problem, but it also represents a huge success. The problem is, of course, a decline in enrollment. It means a decline in tuition, means a decline in the budget, right? And this is a projected number here for this coming fall. We're expecting to be 400 down this fall from last fall.
I spoke to the College of Natural Resources Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, Tim Ginnett. According to Ginnett, the College of Natural Resources is experiencing a decline, like the rest of UW Stevens Point. Not long ago, the school felt an increase in its student body. Ginnett says this was due to the CNR's growing reputation, which was attracting students from the metropolitan areas and students of diversity to join the already present students from farming backgrounds. I asked Dean Ginnett what impacts this enrollment drop had on his college, and surprisingly, things are in a bit of a sweet spot right now. Ginnett says at the school's current enrollment, the CNR can be fiscally comfortable. but classes remain small, allowing students to get more personal time with their professors. Wednesday Jordan, a double major in soil and land management and water resources, says she has not noticed any impacts as a result of lower enrollment. For the College of Natural Resources, it seems, things are not looking too bad with the recent decline in enrollment. This has been Lexi Callan reporting.
Thank you, Lexi. We will continue to monitor the numbers in the coming years.
Coming up, an update on the UWSP women's basketball team and the tip-off tournament they hosted.
And a look at the UWSP student ambassadors. We'll be right back.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Welcome back to the show. Throughout the year, UW-Stevens Point recruits students in high school to choose the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point as their college choice. Point is always on the lookout for potential future Pointers, and as long as they can remember, the admissions office has encouraged students to apply for student ambassador positions. The student ambassadors are not only there to help future college students to get a feel of the campus, but for their own benefit as well. There are 21 student ambassadors on the board, and they conduct tours from one-on-one to a group of 8 people. There's even a bilingual tour for international students. For those interested in taking a role as an ambassador, the admissions office is open Monday through Friday, and their website also has information on how to apply. Ambassadors are a key component in the recruitment of students.
Speaking of recruitment, the UW-Stevens Point's women's basketball team seemed to have success with finding players over the past few seasons. The Pointers are off to a fast start this season, and Alex Cook and Daniel Lusso have more.
UWSP women's basketball participated in the tip-off tournament last weekend at Berg Gym when they took on Luther College on Friday and Illinois Wesleyan University on Saturday. I caught up with head coach Shirley Egner and senior guard Lauren Anklem to get their thoughts on the 66-51 victory over Luther College on Friday night.
I think our ability to take care of the basketball against their pressure helped us with that, and I thought that sharing the basketball, being able to play inside and out was also a key to our success.
I think for us it was just like getting settled starting the game. We knew they were going to come out and press, and Luther's been really good in the past. The last tip-off tournament we had here, we really struggled against their press, and so I think just beating it consistently and getting set up into our offense and making shots was key.
On Saturday, the Pointer women returned to Berg Gym to take on Illinois Wesleyan. Anklem and Egner shared their thoughts on the 62-58 win over the Titans.
Well, I don't think we rebounded the ball very well. first half into the second half.
Just not getting too fast into the game. So when a team presses you, it usually gets your offense going faster. You take quick shots, and it plays into their hands. So on Sunday, we got into a trap meet in the second quarter, and so that's just slowing down and playing our game versus playing theirs. But we had two key contributors. Autumn had 27 points on Sunday. That was a big part of our offense, and she kept us in the game. We hit big shots when we needed to, and we just didn't give up.
After the victory from the Pointers football tournament, the Pointers traveled to Plymouth, Wisconsin to take on Lakeland College on Tuesday, November 22nd. Kickoff for that game is set at 5 p.m. Beginning the booth for the UWSP News Team, this is Alex Cook signing off.
The team currently owns a 5-1 record and is ranked number 23 in the country according to the most recent version of the D3Hoops.com poll.
You know, with only having 4 seniors on the team, they've been doing a great job, and that, you know, excites me for next season for when the underclassmen take on the role.
Right. They only have room to improve. Like, they're doing fantastic now, but they have so much time to improve and get better, and I'm excited to see where they go. They could have a championship under their belt.
All right, go Pointers.
Yeah. After the break, we will have an update about the Dakota Access Pipeline and learn about our veterans on the UW Stevens Point campus.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
So, I got this new family. And I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until there's no secret that makes you smile. Reliable sources say that chicken soup has proven has found their way out of this dangerous, but it will be safe until they are returned.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to our morning newscast.
As early as April 1st of this year, people across the country have protested the Dakota Access Pipeline. Their voices were heard as part of the pipeline will be rerouted.
Excited.
That pipeline had every right to go through, but because of the support that we have, because of the people who gather and are part of this, we're able to build enough noise to help America understand.
We're slowly getting there, like, on winning this thing, but there's going to be a few battles that we're going to have to go through whenever we're going to win this thing, too.
We will continue to monitor the situation as more details become available, and many veterans were in attendance at the protest.
Veterans were also honored during the UW Stevens Point's Veterans Day celebration. Katie Strebe and Cody Bouchon have more.
They have survived months of grueling training and deployment
and now their biggest stressor is getting a paper finished by midnight. Veteran students face a unique problem that the average college student doesn't have to worry about: the adjustment to civilian life. In many ways, military service was helpful for a successful college experience. Veterans learned how to be professional, how to interact with fellow students, and how to be disciplined in their schoolwork. The transition from soldier to student can sometimes be challenging for a veteran.
I was a transfer, a non-trad, a veteran. I fell into many different categories. There's probably some disconnect as far as, once again, our military experience doesn't quite translate for civilian classes. We know it, but it doesn't qualify.
Fortunately, the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point makes accommodations to improve the college experience of veteran students.
Last year, they actually started making new programs. There's one specifically for veterans now, where they relate our military experience to transitioning on resumes and writing assignments for veterans. So,
UWSP even held a Veterans Day event to honor the people who fought for our country. There was a panel of veterans, including Chancellor Bernie Patterson, that shed light onto the process of becoming a civilian.
They have been very accommodating. We have a very big supporting staff.
This is Katie Strebe signing off for UWSP News Team.
The UWSP Veterans Club office is located in room 101 of the Student Services Center. This club is a resource for veterans and also offers a unique perspective on the challenges that many veterans have to face.
And after a short break, we'll learn some of the changes that the UWSP Counseling Center underwent and how other colleges are using dogs as therapy. We'll be right back.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Welcome back to UWSP News Team.
Now it's time to check out this week's UWSP Cribs. Each week, our UWSP Cribs team explores the most exciting living spaces of students on campus.
While traveling through Stevens Point, UWSP News Team was on the hunt for cool cribs where students live during the school year. Our journey took us to Pointer Place Townhouses, located at 3700 Doolittle Drive, and home of Tasha Vogel, the subject of today's crib. Pointer Place Townhouses have 5 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms, which are available to rent. Tasha is renting here, and she has something to say about the advantages of living outside the dorms.
A lot more room. Get to make my own food, which is nice. Less noise. A lot less noise.
But one of her favorite things about living in the townhouse? There is much less distraction than living at home.
I think it helps just because I'm away from my parents and they're very distracting. And having my own room helps a lot because I just go sit in it and do my homework. So,
As we investigated the crib, we came across a particularly unique decoration at her house. A unicorn balloon mounted on her wall.
I honestly don't know. That came from their last apartment that they shared that was across the road, and somehow it ended up back here.
Tasha is currently decorating for the coming holidays this December, but she's not limiting herself to just decorating indoors. Visitors to her house will be greeted by a snowman outside. This has been UWSP Cribs.
Next week, we'll bring you our final UWSP Cribs.
The UW-Stevens Point Counseling Center is a hub of activity throughout the academic school year. They have over 3,000 student sessions to plan and prepare for, and have found a way that they can maximize student treatment within a limited number of sessions.
The Counseling Center changed their policy on session limits around 3 years ago from unlimited to 20 sessions. This is due to the high demand for the high volume of students needing counseling services. The Counseling Center meets with 600 to 800 students per academic year. The session limits are also in place to maximize the effectiveness of the treatment.
The other thing is when you look at the research on therapeutic dose, which we're looking at the effectiveness of therapy over time, what the research tells us is that after 10 sessions, the effectiveness of therapy begins to decrease.
A majority of the students who come in do 1 to 5 sessions. The counselors can be flexible with the session limits if needed, and if the student needs more than 20 sessions, they can be referred to other professionals in the community.
There's a lot of really great psychologists in the community. We're not just casting off people into the hands of people who don't know what they're doing. There's a lot of good mental health care options around here. So when we do a referral, we're referring people very thoughtfully to people that we know how they practice psychology. We know what their billing practices are by and large. We're not just picking names out of a phone book.
UWSP was one of the last to switch to session limits in our region and the last UW school to do so.
Session limits are a thing that exists in a tremendous number of college counseling centers. We were arguably one of the last holdouts to not have any at all. And other universities, the number is actually considerably lower.
The nature of counseling centers is changing, and the research has proven that it is most likely not beneficial to have more than 20 sessions in a specific time period.
Due to the sensitivity of this topic, we were unable to talk to any students. However, if a student would like to come forward and talk about how this change has affected them, they are more than welcome to. There are also other alternatives open as well, such as group therapy, which has no session limits at all and is welcome for any student. If you or someone you know would like to schedule an appointment, you can call the Counseling Center directly or visit the 3rd floor of Dalzell Hall.
Let's now take a look at one university that has been using puppies as a form of therapy.
When you're coloring it sends you back to a simpler mindset, so it's really stress relieving to just sit there and draw and color.
I have a concern about bringing these things on campus because I do think that we have a tendency to baby our college students. The world does not come to an end because you didn't get what you want.
We definitely need puppies on campus, even coloring, honestly. We're just trying to go to school to do better in the world and stuff like that, so, I mean, why not help them the best we can?
Now, that is a form of therapy that UWSP can use.
I completely agree with that. Coming up next is our beloved Question of the Day segment.
There. Excuse me.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back to this morning's show.
UWSP News Team took it to the streets to pick the brains of the UWSP community. It's time for Question of the Week. We asked students and faculty about their holiday wishes.
My holiday wish list is a Denver Broncos Super Bowl victory, a Broncos team certified hat, and peace and goodwill towards man.
Insulated leggings and new snow boots.
Brand new boots, because mine are like falling apart.
I want people to be more kind to one another, I guess you could say. And then I really want the opportunity to go to Japan to teach English, second language, next summer.
Or to get into grad school, because I'm applying right now.
One is that my 3 children are all home in my house.
And my Christmas wish list, I guess, first I want to get an NES Classic Edition, the Nintendo. They're bringing that back, and I think that'd be awesome. Number 2, I want one of my 3 fantasy football teams to bring home a championship this year. I think I have pretty good odds this year, but we'll see. And number 3, I want not only my staff members here at the University Information tickets, but UWSP students everywhere to have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and Happy Holidays.
Next week, we'll show our last question of the day segment, so be sure to tune in.
All right, Mimi, what are your holiday wishes for this year?
You know, to get as much sleep as possible. I'm exhausted. What about you, Rachel?
Same thing. I want to ace all of my finals this year. Might have to compromise some sleep for that, but I'm excited about that.
You know, I'm excited to go home, spend some time with my family, eat a good meal for the first time, and I don't even know how long. So
yes, I'm excited to have pumpkin pie every day for like the next week. That's definitely what I'm looking forward to.
I'm excited for you, Rachel.
Thank you. And that is all the time we have for today's show. Thank you for joining us this morning. For me, Mimi Mitrovic, and the rest of the UWSP News Team, this is Rachel Ellis. Have a great day, everyone.